All right, so today we're doing one of my favorite things, a character deep dive.
Oh, fun.
And we're looking at, you guessed it, Rosalie Hale from the
Mm.
Twilight saga.
Yeah, yeah.
You have given me so much to work with here.
Lots to unpack.
I know. Character analysis, backstory, even some stuff from Stephenie Meyer. Like, you really went all out,
I did.
which I love. It's great.
She's a fun one.
She is. You know, we all kind of think of Rosalie as, like, the Ice Queen, right? Like, she's
Yeah.
so beautiful, but she's also kind of, like, mean.
Right. Totally.
But I feel like what you've given me kind of challenges that like surface level view of her.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more to her
Definitely.
than people realize for sure.
So let's dig into that. What do we say?
Let's dive deep. Let's dive deep.
Let's dive deep. Okay, so like I said, Rosalie Hale. She is one of the Cullen vampires from Twilight. She's known for being incredibly beautiful. I mean, the analysis literally says goddess-like.
Literally.
Like, wow. And in the Twilight universe, that is saying something.
Right. Like they're not messing around with that.
Exactly. But she's also described as very cold, very bitter, even mean sometimes. So,
Yeah.
so what's the deal? Like, how does her past, because her past is tragic, right?
Yeah.
How does that play into, like, who she becomes as a vampire?
Yeah, it's really easy to kind of write Rosalie off as this like one-dimensional, like she's just the jealous one, especially in the early books, but her story is so tragic, like truly tragic. I mean, imagine having this whole life planned out, right? Like you're going to get married, you're going to have kids, all the things that like she clearly really valued in her human life, and then it's just ripped away from her.
And not just ripped away, like, brutally attacked and left for dead. Like, come on. That's
Perfect.
That's
Yeah.
awful. And you can totally see why she would have a problem with being a vampire after that.
Right. And I think that's a really important thing to remember about Rosalie's transformation.
Okay.
Because it wasn't like a joyful choice like it was for some vampires, you know?
Right.
It was Carlisle saving her from the brink of death, and in a way it kind of trapped her in this state where she can never age, she can never have children, all the things that she really truly valued as a human.
It's like being given like this twisted nightmare version of her happy ending, you know?
Totally.
And this is where it gets really interesting to me because you sent over this part about Rosalie's revenge on her attackers.
Yes.
And like she didn't just, kill him, which fair, but she wore a wedding dress to go kill her fiance's murderer.
Whoa.
That's not just revenge, that's a statement.
Absolutely. And I think that detail, that one little detail speaks volumes about her character. Like this wasn't just about physical revenge for her. This was about like the theft of her future, the life that she would have had with him.
It's like she was mourning this life she would never have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I feel like this ties into her relationship with Bella, right? Like so much of Rosalie's anger, her bitterness, it comes from this place of like profound loss.
So,
this longing for a life that was stolen from her.
and at first, when you see her interacting with Bella, it seems like typical teenage jealousy, right?
Right.
Like, oh, she's jealous of Edward's attention. She's jealous of Bella's, sudden allure and how she's drawn into this vampire world.
Yeah, totally.
But knowing Rosalie's backstory, knowing what she's been through, it really changes how you view that relationship.
It's true. Like, have
Ah.
you ever wanted something so badly and you couldn't have it?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then to see someone else have that very thing, like, just handed to them,
It's tough.
it's got to be hard.
It's really hard. And I think that's what Rosalie sees in Bella, right? She sees Bella choosing to give up everything that Rosalie would literally kill to have back. And that's got to be agonizing for her.
It's not even hatred at that point. It's just pure envy.
It's just pure envy, and it's coming from such a deep place of pain.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes that resentment, like, almost make sense,
Totally.
But then Rosalie's whole thing takes this really interesting turn, right? Like, when Renesmee comes into the picture,
Right.
we go from her, like, mourning this lost human life to being, like, fiercely protective of this half-human, half-vampire baby.
It's so interesting, right? And I think it really speaks to, like, a different side of Rosalie. Like, remember how she's the one who brings Emmett to Carlisle to be turned after he's mauled by a bear?
Oh, yeah.
Like, she might seem cold and, kind of unfeeling at times, but, like, she has this incredible capacity for love, especially when it comes to family. And I think that's really important.
And you see that in how she is with Bella and Edward's wedding, too, right? Like, she put so much energy into making it this perfect day,
Yes.
which you wouldn't necessarily expect
Yeah.
from someone who, like, at times seemed so against their whole relationship.
Right, exactly.
It's like she's trying to, like, live vicariously through them in a way.
Totally. She's trying to create this, like, picture-perfect version of the life that she wanted,
Yeah.
even if it's not her own.
And then with Renesmee, it's like she finally gets to experience a little piece of that.
Exactly.
Like, she can't have children of their own,
Oh,
obviously,
but yes.
but she can protect Renesmee.
Yeah.
She can care for her. Like, all of that maternal instinct that was taken from her, it's like she finds a way to channel it, you know?
Absolutely. And I think it's through Renesmee, that she's able to find a different kind of fulfillment.
Okay, yeah.
Like, it's not the fulfillment of, having her own biological child,
Right.
but it's still a deep, meaningful connection.
Mm-hmm.
And it allows her to express this love that she has.
Yeah, and it's so interesting how motherhood becomes this, like, source of healing for her.
Absolutely.
Like, she even calls Renesmee my Bella at some point.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like, can you imagine?
That's huge.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And it speaks volumes about how much she cares about this child.
Absolutely. And it just goes to show how complex she is, right?
Totally.
Like, it would have been so easy to make Rosalie, like, just this, one-dimensional, like, mean, jealous character.
Right, but she's not.
But she's so much more than that.
She is.
She's strong. She's protective.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately she really does have a good heart.
And she becomes this, like, fierce protector, not just of Renesmee, but, like, of the whole family.
Yes.
Like, she's willing to fight anyone and anything to keep them safe.
Absolutely. She's a force to be reckoned with.
She really is. And it's like she's finally found this place where her strength, her, like, intensity, it's channeled into something good.
Exactly.
Like, she might not have the human life she wanted,
right,
but she created this, like, new kind of family, this new purpose within this, like, vampire world.
And I think that really speaks to the whole be careful what you wish for trope,
Like, totally.
Like, Rosalie's story shows us that sometimes what we think we want isn't actually what we need.
And sometimes our biggest heartbreaks can lead to, like, unexpected joys.
Absolutely. And I think that's such a beautiful message.
It is. And you know what's really interesting? Like, it makes you think about that part of the analysis where Stephenie Meyer calls Rosalie tragic.
Right.
Do you think that's accurate?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It really is.
Like, is she ultimately defined by this trauma, by these desires that she can never fulfill? Or does she find a different kind of happiness, a different kind of peace, with Renesmee, with the Cullens?
I think it's almost like she's found a way to want to be a vampire,
Right.
Like, for so long, she wished she could go back.
Of course.
But now it's almost like she's accepted it and found a way to make it her own.
I think you're right. It's like she's found a way to make meaning in this life that she was given.
Even though it's not the one that she would have chosen for herself.
Exactly.
It's really, like, makes you think, huh?
It really does. And it just goes to show, like, every character, no matter how, like, simple they might seem at first, they have these incredible depths. And it's exploring those depths, I think, that helps us learn more about ourselves,
Absolutely. Rosalie Hale, everybody. Not just a pretty face.
Not even close.
No. And on that note, we are going to wrap up this deep dive into Rosalie Hale.
Loved it.
I did too. Until next time, folks, keep diving deep, and we will keep bringing you the knowledge and the aha moments.
See you next time.
Bye.